Good evening. All right, so there's not many of us online right now, but I want to go ahead and get started with this because I wasn't expecting to take up too much of anybody's time tonight. Just want to give everybody an update as to how things are going to work since the schools are currently closed. I've had lots of questions and people have been asking me all sorts of stuff. So I'm still going to hold the normal class hours. It's just not going to be at Lennard. It'll be online. So the same link that you used to log into tonight, you'll be able to use that link to log in and meet with me at any of those same office hour times that I had at Lennard. So make sure you save that information somewhere so that you can get back to it. Again, since I'm working from home, I may or may not be sitting right at my computer when you first log in. So again, to get my attention, I'll have a sound effect on for when people are entering and exiting, but I might not hear it. So if you send me a message through either text using my Google Voice number, or if you send me a message through Remind, again, those both go to my phone, so I'll be able to see it right away and see that you're on and need help with something. Now, I'm not normally going to record every session. I'm just recording this one so that I can post it to YouTube for anybody who wasn't able to join us tonight, because again, everybody's schedule is a little bit different with adult ed, so I knew there weren't going to be I knew everybody wasn't going to be able to attend. All right, if you don't already have Reminds with me, I really recommend getting Reminds. So if you didn't get the text message today to come on and sign in for this meeting, if you just saw it on the announcement instead of getting the text message, make sure you sign up for Reminds. I know there's a few people that didn't get signed up for it because they either didn't have their phone with them when they came to meet with me the first time, or they may have met with Ms. Compton the first time, and she may not have gave you all the information to get registered. So if you don't have Remind, make sure you get it. Again, it's a good way of staying in contact with me. Other ways to contact me, again, you can use Zoom during my office hours, so same Monday, Wednesdays as normal. You can use Remind, you can use my Google Voice number, or you can use my email. I will, again, post a, I can't post it the way I would with my normal students. I'll try and post a link so that you can see this information again. I'll also copy and paste this into an announcement so that it's there for you on Edgenuity, so that if you need any of that information, you can get it from there. Also, Zoom Classroom. So what we're using right now, the program called Zoom, I'm using it with all my students during the day side as well for classes. I meet with them 3 times a week. For you guys, I'm going to meet with you guys twice. Again, you don't have to actually attend, just like you don't have to come into Lennard. As long as you're working, you get counted present, just like you always did before. The only difference is some of you guys like to come in for math help, and again, we won't be there at school for that help. So I have my document camera here at home. I can answer questions. I can work out problems. So if you have questions, again, just feel free to come on whenever you have a question, and I can try and work it out with you. But again, Mondays from 5 to 7 and Wednesdays from 6 to 8. Those are the same normal hours that I was at Lennard before. So the same 2-hour windows still apply. For exams, the way that we're going to be doing exams is also going to be through Zoom. So since we aren't going to be there live, the district set up some guidelines as to how we should do exams for adult ed. Basically, using Zoom, you can do Zoom a couple different ways, and I'll demonstrate it here in just a minute. But you can use Zoom to share a screen, just like I'm sharing this PowerPoint with you right now. You could share your screen while taking an exam. So that's how it's going to work. And if you don't know how to do it, I'll walk you through the steps. It's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. But now I will be doing it by appointment. So that's a little bit different. Instead of holding exams just during my office hours. Now, by all means, you can take an exam during those office hours, and that's fine. But in order to do Zoom so that it's not sharing the test with more than one person, I have another Zoom account set up so that you can do an exam. I'm going to have you guys register for different times when you get to an exam so that you can take an exam. I can lock out everybody else from the Zoom once you've signed in. And then after that, you can take your exam. I'm going to try to make appointments by using doodle.com. I haven't set up my Doodle account just yet. I'm still working on that. I have a lot of stuff to do for the day side right now that I'm still trying to get organized for all this online learning. But this week, by Wednesday, I will start doing exams if you're at an exam. So again, by Wednesday, if you're at an exam, I'll start trying to get you guys scheduled and start taking exams. Now again, if you prefer working on them during the day, again, I'll have blocks open during the day. So I'll be posting that schedule so that you can see exactly what times I'll be available. All right. And anytime you do fill in, so anytime you do get to fill in a actual slot on my schedule, make sure you always contact me through Remind or through my Google Voice number and tell me, hey, I just picked up this time slot. That way I'm able to know right away, in case you did it at the last minute, that you're going to be coming online. All right. Oops. So that's the main things. I do want to demonstrate real quick how it's going to work as far as sharing a screen so that you can take an exam. So let me unshare my screen for just a second, and I'm going to share a different one. So, oops. So, all right. So now I have another computer set up so that I can demonstrate how you'd share a screen. And I'm logged into a student account right now. So I'm going to share my Ingenuity screen, which you guys are familiar with because this is what it looks like. Again, off to the side, when you first log in, these announcements always pop up. If you ever close the announcements, there's always that little blowhorn up at the top to get your announcements back. Again, you can use that so that you can check your announcements. A lot of time, my announcements get pushed all the way to the bottom. So it's important to always scroll down on those announcements, because like the one for this meeting here was down at the bottom. All those other ones pushed out by Ingenuity in the district, they kind of override mine, so they get higher up on the list. But anyway, there's information about the Zoom meeting. I will add another announcement here with the links for the Zoom meetings normally for office hours, and also the Zoom meeting thing for the exams. So again, you'll have both links on here on the announcements, as well as once I get the Doodle scheduling software set up, I'll post that link on here as well. Now for here, again, since you can see my screen, again, it's pretty self-explanatory, but no matter what I click on, again, you can see anything that I'm doing. So this is basically, when you take an exam, this is what I would be seeing on your screen when you go to take an exam. So you can see what it is. You can see how long it is. For new classes, if you're trying to finish a class and take an exam, then I'll register you for a new class. However, when you do a new class, normally we start with this prescriptive test. Again, it'll start off the same way. It'll start with a prescriptive test. Normally the time limit's set to like 3 hours, which is way longer than you should ever really need for a prescriptive test. It is going to be down to, I'm going to change it to an hour for new classes, so that again, as you go through, you can test it you can do the prescriptive test quick, get into the lesson. For the exam, again, that time frame will still remain the same. Again, it should take you around 2 hours. It might take you less, but around 2 hours. However, the time limit does go up to 3 hours. So like time slots that I post will be 3-hour time slots, so that you have plenty of time to take an exam. Once you're done with an exam, the turnaround on getting a new class might be slightly slower than it was before. So usually you finished it, I did my paperwork, gave it to the office, and you could go up see the counselor. They could add the new class right away. Well, again, since nobody's going into the office, the same process still takes place, but I'm going to have to wait to get the paperwork back because I'm not supposed to actually register somebody for a class until I get the paperwork in hand. So I'll turn in my paperwork, send it off to the office, tell them that you need another class. They'll look up to see what the next class is, send it back to me. And then once I get that paperwork, I can put you into the next class. So there might be a 1 to 2 day wait to get your next class once you finish an exam, but everything else is still the same. At this time, if you guys have questions, again, I'll take questions. The way that you can ask questions, you can do it one of a couple ways. You can type in the chat. Let me go back to my screen. I'm going to stop sharing this one. And let me pull the chat back up, see if anybody's asking anything there. I don't see anything in the chat. Did anybody have any questions? Again, I would expect if you're logging on here during a normal office hours time, I expect only people to be on here who had questions. So I might get a few people on here. So again, I'll answer questions. I might answer somebody's questions, give them some time to work, go to somebody else's question. Let's see, has the last day of school changed? So as far as the last day of school goes, for adult ed, there's really a couple of different things that they consider the last day, because there's the last day in order to walk at graduation, and then there's the last day of actual classes. Usually this semester goes until I'd say usually around second to last week of June is when this semester officially ends. We normally would push people to finish by the graduation. I don't think there's been any actual final word on how graduation is working and stuff like that yet. So I don't know as far as that last day goes. But again, once you finish, if you finish everything, that point they can close out all the paperwork, get final transcripts, submit to the state for a diploma and all that stuff. So all that stuff still works the same. So we have to take all our exams online. Yeah, so again, your exams are gonna be online. Like I said, I'm gonna have you guys use Zoom like we're currently doing now, so that, again, you'll be on your computer, you share your screen. I can see that you're only on Edgenuity as you're taking your exam, and you take it from afar. And then again, we can talk as you take it. I would expect you to mute your mic, and I'll have mine muted unless you have questions. Then again, just pop on, ask me a question. I was a little late to this. Can you recap? So, okay, so I am going to post a link to this. I'm going to actually post, this is being recorded right now. So I'm going to post this to YouTube and post a link onto the announcement page. But again, for the final exams for each class, you're going to end up taking it on the computer. I was showing, I think when you logged on, I was showing the student screen. Again, you can share your screen. And again, I don't want anybody to do this right now, but if you look at your options there, you have an option that says share screen. When you click on share screen, there's a couple different options: share windows, share the full screen, things like that. Again, when you want to share it, when you're taking an exam, that's the button that you'd use. But when you're actually taking an exam, I will walk you through the steps to do that. But again, I am doing exams one at a time, so I'll have you guys sign up through a doodle scheduling, which I will post information on that in an announcement on Edgenuity. So if you have questions, again, I'll be here every Monday, every Wednesday, normal times, 5 to 7 on Mondays, 6 to 8 on Wednesdays. I'll have Zoom open, so if you need to pop in and ask me any questions, you can. If you don't see me on there right away when you first go to log in, if you don't hear me, again, send me a message either through Mind or through my Google text number. Again, I'll post that information real quick again, just so you can see it in case you missed it at the beginning. I'd recommend taking a picture of this, but I will end up posting it on I will end up posting it as well. So 2 things that I would recommend having, again, ways of contacting me. So again, Zoom when I'm on, Remind, Google Voice, email. Again, if you don't already have Remind, that's how you sign up for Remind. You text that 81010 number and that code at LENAD math. All right. So again, you might want to take a picture of that if you don't have that. Again, that's that same screen again. And then those are the links to my 2 Zoom accounts that I will be using to conduct office hours and to conduct exams. So again, I'll post this information in an announcement as well, so that you can go get any of this information from Edgenuity, as well as I'll have the link to this video on there too. Any other questions? Let me go back to my other screen. Let me stop sharing. All right, so I did have a question about submitting notes. So as far as submitting notes go, again, I can't physically collect notes from you right now. So normally at an exam, I would collect your notes. So I'm not going to be able to do that. However, if you hold on to them, if you have more than one class and you'd like to turn them in later on, I'd still be glad to take them, because we're supposed to save any notes that you do or work on the exam so that we have a record of like you working on the class. So if you want to hold on to them and then turn them in at the end, that's fine. Any other questions? Let me go back through and make sure I didn't miss anybody's questions. Okay, I think I got all the ones that were posted. Anything else? All right, that's it for now. Again, I'm still going to be online until about 7 o'clock tonight at least. Oh, for graduation, again, I started answering that question. Again, I don't really exactly know how physical graduation is going to work when it comes to like a ceremony. I'll have to let you guys know when I hear more information about that. As far as like graduating and getting the actual diploma and getting your transcripts, that part works the same way. Again, once you've completed all your classes, I'll submit, when you finish your final class, I'll submit that to one of the guidance counselors. The guidance counselors have to do a graduation check. And then once they do a graduation check, they'll go through and it'll get coded in the computer as a finishing and graduating, and then they can turn around and order your transcripts and order diploma. Transcripts usually come back faster than diploma. It usually takes only about a week to 2 weeks to get the transcript back, whereas the diploma, again, they have to send off for it. They get in the mail, and since nobody can go in, again, depending on how long we're going to have to do this for, again, they might send it to you in the mail, or they might hold on to it until we're able to come back in. The Remind code, let me throw that back up. I had somebody asking for it. Share. That's the Remind code. Anybody else have any other questions? All right, then again, that's it. You guys can go. If you have any other questions and want to stick around, I know I had somebody asking earlier, but again, if you have questions, that's it for this. I'm going to go ahead and hit end on the meeting so that it forces everybody out. But again, if you want to come back in, if you need help or something, then just use that same login and it'll let you come right back in. Have a good night.